Okay, so in the previous video I spoke about the house buying timeline, my experience of the timeline of buying a property in Ireland in 2025. So now I'm going to go through, I wrote the list of things that I could think of that I actually needed to get said property. So I have a list of things, I'm just going to go through them and give you the rough estimates of the costs for me as well. So the things you need are, you need 10% deposit of the cost of a house. You need stamp duty, which is 1% of the property value. Then there will be legal fees from your solicitor. Then you will have usually surveyor costs. I'm not sure that was fully necessary, but it gave some peace of mind. And then you have to pay local property tax. And unless I'm missing something very obvious, these are all the costs that I could think of. So, for example, first time buyer 10%. If you're buying aiming for a €300,000 house, you'll obviously need a €30,000 deposit. But obviously there's all the other costs that I just listed, so you also need to have a lot more than that 10% to cover all the other costs that's involved in buying a property. So for example, stamp duty, 1% of the property, that's automatically another, if we're going with 300,000 being the price, you need €3,000, €3,000 for stamp duty costs. Then we have legal fees. My solicitor fees were about, as far as I can remember, 3,200 I've written down here. So that's another €3,000 that you need off the bat. Surveyor fees, mine was about €600. You have a big report. That's that. Local property tax is, I don't know what percentage or how it's calculated actually, but I have written down here it's €205 I had to pay for the year, I think. So, oh, man passing in the background. So tallying all those up, my cost was about 33-ish thousand euro. Probably other things that I'm slightly missing out on, but they're the main things that I can recall and that came to mind when I was trying to make this list. To be aiming, you'd want to keep in mind that you need at least another legal fees and then the stamp duty, so 6, 7, 8,000 euro on top of your deposit to be comfortable. Now I will say that you also want to have stability and having money to furnish the house if needs be. Luckily when we got the house there was quite a lot in it, so it did take pressure off slightly. And then you'd also ideally want to have some money saved to cover the first couple of months to also be comfortable and not be stressing about money. That's that. But also with the mortgage saver account and the just cashback from drawing down that I got, it gives a bit of stability, because on the mortgage saver account I got 2,000 less dirt, which is 33% back. So I got about €1,340 I've written down, and then I got around €4,000 from drawing down the mortgage. It's some type of some of the, depending what option you go for, you get cash back. So that's about over €5,000, 5,300 I got back. So that covered a fair bit of the costs. So yeah, that's what I needed. That is the overall what I can think of the actual things, finances and things you need to account for when going into this. Things that I'm not mentioning in this, first time buyer incentive, or the first home scheme, and what's the other one? There's another one, but I didn't avail of those, so I don't have actually direct experience factoring those things into the costs.